Donald Trump, well, he isn't sweating his indictment as much as you might think, and it looks like the charges might actually help him win the Republican nomination for president. Ring of Fire's Farron Cousins joins me now to talk about it. Farron, you know what? You're like a soothsayer. I think you're the best in the progressive business at looking at a story and saying, this is where I think it's going to go. That's why I've enjoyed doing this with you for 20 years. So let's talk about this one. If you talk to all the experts, you hear there's a problem with due process here, there's a problem with selective prosecution, there's a problem with vagueness of the indictment. There are all of these problems that are centering around this. There's a problem with the jurisdiction, when you can argue, all you're going to get is blue jurors, all you're going to get is a blue judge, all you're going to get is blue appellate judge. So as I'm looking at this, they've got a lot of ways to hang this up for a long time, maybe already past the election. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely can, especially with, 34 charges against him. That opens the door, multiple different challenges per indictment, you know. So they could wrap this up in the courts potentially for years. Mm-hmm. But based on what Trump has already seen in the last week, I don't think he wants to do that. I mean, what we're seeing right now is absolutely unbelievable because you have focus groups, you have polling data, and all of it shows that all of those Republican voters that were ready to get rid of Trump, they have now come back to him. Yeah. They're saying, you know what? We are now supporting you. I was ready to move to Ron DeSantis, but I'm going back to Trump.
Right. They're angry. I mean, if you really look at it, this is pure anger.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look at it, and here's the things that are coming up now. I mean, it's just in the last 2 days. I know you've looked at the articles, but the right is using this to remind everybody about all the things they talk. They talk about Antifa, how it's such a big problem, how it's an extension of the Democratic Party. They talk about the transgender issues because that's tied into what they feel is going to be on the docket for the next election. These are all points. Now, these aren't my points.
Right.
These are points that are surfacing in the discussion right now. They're left-wing Soros-style billionaires controlling the media, controlling Hollywood, controlling the American financial system, aided by the FBI and the CIA, weaponizing the justice system. These are just a few. This is me going online, trying to see what's coming out now, what's bleeding through all of this. These are the things that are bleeding, and their point is they're using all this to scare the hell out of everybody and say that he is the only man who can fix it. Now, you see what I'm saying? I'm not whether this is true or not. I don't know. But I can tell you these stories are all surfacing to be hung around the neck of the Democrats.
Yeah, they are. And of course, the Republicans, fear is what motivates those voters more than anything else. And what they're giving them right now is this fear that, oh my God, if it can happen to Trump, it can happen to you. And that freaks these Republicans out. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Well, if you haven't committed any crimes, you don't have to worry about it. But that reality of that does not affect these folks. They look at this, no matter what happens, even if we were to get a trial in 6 months and he's found guilty on all 34 counts, those true believers will still think it was a political setup. They've been planning this for years. It was a deep state coup.
Right.
He is innocent, and they did this, and we're angry. So nothing will change their minds.
Right. Farron, you see the timing of all this, though. Why is all this popping up? And I mean, it's like story after story, whether you're talking about Soros, Hollywood, media, the FBI, the CIA, the deep state, all this stuff just in the last few days, since all this discussion started, is surfacing. And what I believe is it's an extension of what's going on with Trump. And then the argument is Trump is the only guy who can solve it.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
You know, what's really interesting to me, too, though, is you would think Ron DeSantis would be loving every second of this. This was supposed to be his window to jump into this race.
Okay.
But instead, what DeSantis has had to do, what Mike Pence, who Trump hates, has had to do, they have all had to come out and defend Donald Trump. So that makes them look a little bit weaker. It makes Trump look a little bit stronger. And that's one of the reasons Trump is loving this so much. All of those people that want to challenge him for the nomination now have to go on record saying, oh, it's so sad what's happening to this man. They're losing clout. DeSantis's poll numbers are just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it's this collage of things that I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That this is the vehicle driving this collage of right-wing talking points. And the timing, there's no coincidence here.
Yeah.
This isn't just happening sua sponte. I mean, this is happening because there's a plan.